So Denny, back to your best on Friday. What would you say changed in the build-up for you heading into that week? It was a very impressive performance.
For me personally, I think it was just the attitude to try and go out there, and obviously I had a long time out, so it was my first run out with the boys for a while. And obviously it's been a long time since the club's been in any final, and I think especially going forward is where we want to build.
What would you say that means to you, reaching a final and having that possibility of lifting your first trophy with this club?
It's great. I think not many people get to go to finals, regardless of what competition it is. It's very hard to get into a final, and to play against Saracens was a big ask. And I'm glad the boys put their best foot forward.
How much would you say that the club has changed since you first joined, and how much would you say you've changed as a person and a player during that whole process as well?
I don't feel like it's changed too much. I feel like obviously the personnel that's come in, it's a lot better than what we've had in the past. But I think the depth that we've got at the minute is great. We've got internationals all over the place now, so it's got a lot of experience in different positions and more more expertise in certain areas where we can improve as well. I think Lude coming in as well, helping Bryn out, and with the line outs, Aka and an experienced head like Rob Webber with the scrums. And I think everywhere you look, we've got internationals in most positions, and if they're not an international, they should be. Ross Harrison being one, Sam James being another. So yeah, I think we're building really well, and the last 3 years has been great because it's all building up to these phases where we need to now be consistent with our performances.
That depth in the squad has been the common topic of discussion throughout the season. I think that was something in pre-season that excited both fans and players, like you've just said, in the squad. Would you say now, looking at your performance in Friday's game, the wingers in that position in the squad is ridiculous in terms of the talent? You, Yardy, Ashi, Byron. Do you draw off their performances, and do you take notes and look to build on your own and their performances as well?
It's hard because literally everyone's different. You can't really compare me to Ash or me to Byron or me to Yardy. We all got our strengths and we all got our weaknesses. And it's a headache for the coach really, and I think it's great. No team wants to be complacent in their position. So with that competition, I think there's no malice between that competition. I think it's a really good, healthy competition we have here. Me and Byron are good friends. Me and Ash are good friends. So it's tough to be anything else than supportive if one or the other starts or doesn't play. You can only have 3 wingers or 3 outside backs on a field, and one's always going to miss out. So it's down to the coaches whether they get the rotation right, and people are going to be upset. That's the life of the game, and that's the way it goes. But it's great to have that competition, and it's great to have the fans identify that we have got really good wingers, and that's just the way we want to go.
Do you think that recipe of competition, your position, is making you thrive?
No, because I know my ability and where I can be and where I want to be.
So it's a personal thing for you.
Yeah, so it's generally just personal because I'm always going to be a team player. I want to win. Everyone wants to win here, and if that's the choice that the coaches make, we back it. We go behind it 100%, and that's where we want to go is making sacrifices for one another.
And it was a handy rehearsal on Friday for this Saturday's game. I guess it is always handy facing a team back-to-back when you've won. What do you take away from that performance that you'd like to build on, and do you expect any major changes from their outlook from that game?
It's a hard one because there's a lot of pros and cons that happen in that game. The first half we started really well, and every single team in the Prem wants to start well. I think our carries are really good. So we want to keep that going forward, and our dominance in trying to dominate teams in defence, turn defence into attack. So going forward and going into next week, that's what we want to keep. And I feel like we just made it hard for ourselves. I think we made it a lot harder than what it should have been. And credit to Saracens, whatever team they put out, they play exactly the same. The youngsters put their hand up and they grind out. So, going back down there, regardless of what's going on and what's happening in the background, Saracens play the exact same. And you got to give them credit to they've got, I think, 6 players out in international duty that week. So, and them 6 players probably do make the difference, but they still play the exact same shape, and I don't think we'd change too much this week going forward.